What is going on? I'm zmoT. We are here on the zmoT account, and you are getting me pre-coffee once again because that's right, it's War Factory Day. We are going to be doing the trifecta of awesome, so stick around for the whole video. We're going to start out with an HQ18 using zookas. Then we're going to solo this War Factory using a maxed account. And then we're going to move right along and use Cryo Bombardiers on a low level. Now, I say all this, but I have yet to look at the War Factory. Let's have a look and see if any of that is possible. But first, we're going to load Everspark because I need to get her going and I don't want to hit attack with the wrong hero loaded. Okay, so War Factory. This is the standard War Factory level 45 that you have to beat just to unlock War Factory, with a bit of a twist, obviously. Now, typically we have to hack the rocket launcher on this right-hand side. This time, not really. That rocket launcher is sort of off to the side, but if we want to get rid of these shock blasters, which we will have to do, hacking that rocket launcher is pretty much required. This rocket launcher does not matter at all. So what we're going to do here is we're going to drop Miss Everspark underneath a smoke. Yes, you can probably use that Grappler Express there. I'm not going to do it. I'm just full on going to chicken out here because every time in the last couple videos I've tried to do that, things have gone terribly. So we're just going to nice and smoke into there. You'll notice I am using an extra flare there rather than hitting the button and then flaring the rocket launcher from shore. That's just because of boom mines. I don't want to walk into one of those boom mines by accident. So an extra flare cost us 3 GBE. I am okay with that just to make sure we're safe. We've got 74 GBE left. That is tons and tons. And what we're going to do with that GBE is we're going to use it on the shock blaster here. Going to use some on this shock blaster over here as well, and the reason for that is just to get them damaged so that the zookas target them as soon as possible. Zookas target the most damaged building, so if we were to smoke into that general vicinity right now, we would take out the shock blasters. Now, realistically, we could hit the core right now with zero issues. There's no reason to stop you from hitting the core right there. You could probably solo this as a low level, to be completely honest. Just hack that one rocket launcher over there, then smoke between the rockets, and then clear to core, and you're done. So if you've never soloed this before, that's a great chance. This is the lazy man's War Factory. So what we're going to be doing is just losing as few troops as possible. So I said we were going to mark those for later. We're just going to remove them. Just keep throwing artillery and barrage on top of those buildings, specifically the shock blasters. Shock blasters are our #1 priority right now. We don't care about anything else because what we can do right now is we can just drop Everspark underneath one smoke, press that hack button, and then flare that rocket launcher and send her back to do some work for us. So really, we don't need to double hack here. I'm not going to try and re-smoke her. We probably could. Actually, I said I wasn't going to, but then I changed my mind. Let's re-smoke her. Let's get rid of that rocket launcher. Then we'll put the button, and we'll also get rid of that shock blaster. So between the two of them, very useful targets, and that far rocket launcher we can deal with at a later date. Not a huge concern. We are in range of the shock blasters. Shock blasters like to ruin double hacks, but for single hacks should have no problems at all. So all of the buildings in fairly amazing shape, getting rid of basically everything. This is going to be total dumbed down, no need for smoke, all sorts of good stuff on this one. So when I say no need for smoke, hopefully you realize that smoking troops is what I'm talking about here. Because obviously smoking Everspark, I don't really consider smoking her because you're just using one troop, and smoking one troop, you just basically push the button in front of her. You wait a little bit towards till she gets to the middle, then push smoke directly in front of her. And right about now, she might pop out, she might not. We'll see. There we go. So if you're not super sure about the edge of the smoke, throw an extra smoke. But I figured she's going to pop out, and she's close enough to that 10.5 tile range. By the way, Everspark's range is 10.5 tiles, in case you weren't sure about that. And at this point, we're done. Like, there is nothing that can stop us from taking down this War Factory. If I fail on this War Factory, I'll do what Chicken did and eat an onion or something stupid like that. So, we're good at this point. Probably we could send our troops in, but I'm not going to do that quite yet. We're going to throw some artillery over here, just hoping to do some more damage on those sniper towers, because those sniper towers are going to potentially be in range later. Now, we're just going to retreat. Again, losing as few troops as possible, saving that gold for you guys is critical on this one. We're going to do a quick scout. We can see that grappler, not going to be an issue. Doom cannon, not an issue. Rocket launcher, not an issue. So really, we're golden at this point. We could smoke back into this area back here, but I don't think we even need to do that. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to drop our troops, and we're just going to plow through this. No lasers makes this a little bit easier than normal. We're going to drop one smoke in the corner and then drop all of our troops into it. So don't have to worry about moving things along, or what you're doing here is letting your troops group up, bunch up, get nice and together, and then we're just going to throw our hack once they pop out, and we'll throw one shock right about here, just so we don't lose any more troops than we have to. Clearing forwards is all we're about right now, and just letting our ladies walk forwards. We're going to lose some, not a ton whatsoever, just losing one or two at a time until we can move over into here, and then we're going to shock all of this stuff. So should be good at this point. No reason to go any further into that mess, because as you saw there, that Doom cannon is going to be a bit of an issue. Also, there's more machine guns over there, and we don't want to have anything to do with machine guns at this point. Just clearing all the way into this nice little hidey hole where all of these high-level buildings used to be. And then we're basically golden. Like, it's GG at this point. If you're talking about your grandma or good game, whatever it might be, down goes the easiest war factory in quite a while, I think. Let me know your thoughts as far as ease. Again, this is a war factory layout that we've had a lot in the past. This is not something new. We've had this over and over and over again, but haven't had it in quite some time. So is that a breath of fresh air? I really don't think so. I think they really do need to work on bringing us some new layouts, some new shapes of islands, some new troop building areas, like just... War Factory needs a bit of freshening up for sure. It's gotten a bit dated. So nonetheless, we're going to burn through this core. No big deal. We don't need to worry about the grapplers because they're not pulling towards lasers or anything ridiculous like that. So that is HQ18 XP46, I believe we are, burning through War Factory like it's nothing, punching it straight in the face to wake it up in the morning as I have a sip of my coffee. Hopefully you guys can follow that. If not, if you're concerned about anything about that, we are going to come back very soon with some low-level bombardiers, so stick around for that. Nonetheless, I'm going to try and solo this. Just to make it interesting, we're going to try and solo it with bombardiers as well. Just to unboosted, complete ridiculous. So stick around. I will be back in just a moment after we show you the stats on this attack. So you guys don't have to ask about statues and things like that. So here, oh, boom, Cryo Bombardier upgraded to rank 2. Awesome. That is exciting stuff. Going to get some extra damage, some extra health there. Nonetheless, Gearhart, as you can see here, 58% troop damage, 110% GBE, level 18 zookas, level 8 Everspark. I'll be back in just a moment. Gotta blank the screen. Okay, we are back in action. I am going away to my parents' cabin in the middle of nowhere for the weekend, so I will record a warships video for you. Gonna do a bit of a mini push here, possibly. So that is where the warships is. Maybe I'll publish that over the weekend or something like that, so I'm not completely abandoning you, going offline. Nonetheless, let's get all of the Cryo Bombardiers loaded. And the thing is, these Cryo Bombardiers are amazing at social distancing, physical distancing, whatever you want to call it. They are tiny, but you'll notice that they are way smaller than Grenadiers, but they spread out in the boats. So they are the troop of the times for certain. Also, when you try and put them underneath smoke, they spread out like absolute silliness. So, yes, they are the perfect troop for these times. We are going to bring Miss Everspark with us, and this is going to be a complete and utter failure. Very, very likely. This is a 5-5 account, by the way. 5 troop damage, 5 GBE, no troop health. So these guys are going to be up against it, and it's going to be interesting to see what the heck happens. Now, one thing to be aware of, they do target the most damaged building first. That is crucial here, and we're going to try to use that to our advantage by throwing a barrage right in the middle of all of this stuff so that they ignore the rocket launchers a little bit. It's going to be a strange one. This left-hand side looks slightly easier to shock because there's an extra gap between the boom cannon and the shock blaster. So I'm going to put a little bit extra damage on this side in the hopes that I can keep this side shocked. I don't really have a plan, but we're just going to get into it, and less babbling, less chatting. Let's throw an artillery there, I suppose. And then we'll throw a barrage into like here. I really don't know, folks. This is going to be one of those ones where just trying to mark as many buildings that are kind of far away as possible. I don't think they're going to have enough damage to do anything good here, but we're going to give it a shot. We're going to drop our Cryo Bombardiers at the very, very edge of that smoke, and now we're just going to drop the rest of our troops into here and hope that we can... Oh, we did manage to do that. Okay, so now we're going to go back into here. I think that flare is probably too far away from anything, so this could be very, 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 very problematic. I'm going to use 3 smokes because I have no idea what's going to happen when all of this stuff clears. A beautiful... Oh, man. I was going to say we're going to throw some critters, but I don't really think that's going to happen, to be completely honest. So we're going to have to go like this and just hope that we can get rid of all of the things. Maybe we should have hacked something. This is a complete and utter train wreck right now, but I think we managed to get something moving. So we still have some troops. No, we're done for. They just spread too wide, and I did not have nearly enough GBE. So we are about to get absolutely crushed by all of the things. Possibly, maybe we can get some critters out here and try our best, but that was just a complete and utter train wreck. So definitely flared way too far back on the rocket launchers, and that was ridiculous. So complete and utter failure on my part for the solo, but hopefully that was instructional or interesting or something, because that was bad. That was probably my worst Cryo Bombardier attack in the history of Cryo Bombardier attacks, but at least we got it on video. And that's the thing about, I don't typically record much. 90% of my Boom Beach play is not actually recorded. It's just me playing on my couch or whatever it might be. So when I do catch the stupid things, it's kind of nice sometimes. Nonetheless, we're going to throw some critters over here. We're going to throw some critters over here, and then we're just going to shock all of the things and let all of the dudes clear all the way to the core. And Cryo Bombardiers, I mean, this kind of gave us a little bit of an insight of how things are going to go when we get to the low-level account next. Not super well, I think. These guys are like herding cats, someone on the YouTubes said yesterday, and I can't agree more. They just like to go wherever the heck they want, and they just go everywhere. They walk into danger. They have, it's like, I think their goggles aren't quite thick enough, perhaps. They are super old. They have terrible eyesight. They just walk to whatever is shiny, and it ends up being at the expense of their lives. So hopefully we can burn through this shield fairly quickly. Don't actually have any idea, as they're totally ignoring all of that headquarters. We're going to have to flare it. Once they flare, they do stick around, though. You only need to flare things once. They're not like when you're using, what are those things called? Rainmakers or Scorchers or Cryoneers. Those kind of troops will, once the flare ends, they'll go off wandering. Bombardiers, thankfully, don't do that, which is more like zookas or heavies or every other troop in the game, essentially. So burning through that shield incredibly... Is it burning through the shield? And by the way, if you haven't seen these guys on an operation attack yet, you need to go watch it, because they actually turn the core from green to blue, which is kind of neat. So yes, and do they kill critters? I don't think they do. I'm curious to hear what you guys think about that. They throw past critters for the most part, so and they tend to hit buildings right dead in the center. So I don't think they do kill critters, but they do have a tiny bit of splash damage for the range of 1 tile. So I don't think they're actually going to end up hitting things. So 2 attack solo, is that a thing? Duo? Let's switch things up. We're going to move along and get onto that low level account, and we're going to try to take it down using Bombardiers and only Bombardiers. Rank 2 reached. Wow. So my max level account is the same. Very, very interesting. Let's keep going. Okay, so a bit of a dumb move there. You might notice that the video was a bit of chopped up and cut up. It's because I showed my email address. If you're wondering why I go to blank every time I switch accounts, it's because every time I show my email address, people try to hack my Boom Beach account. So that's why. Wish they would allow us to put nicknames onto our Supercell accounts, but obviously that's not a thing. So anyways, we're going to try to take this down. Don't have a plan yet. I think we need to go to the left because Doom Cannon, Grappler, Rocket Launcher, Shock Launcher. There's just too much stuff over to the right. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to soften it up a little bit using our friendly neighborhood Everspark. We're going to mark the Shock Launcher. Then we're going to put Miss Everspark underneath that smoke, put the button, and then flare that far rocket launcher in the hopes that we can either get a double hack or we can possibly... it's going to be tough doing any sort of hacking when you're next to a, what are those things called? When you're next to a shock blaster is dangerous work. But they haven't noticed us yet. They are facing away from us, so that could and should play to our advantage. We're going to find out very, very soon. Got it. Got the double hack. I don't think we're going to have enough GBE, though. We're a little bit short on this account, so even though we managed to get the double hack, we are still 3 GBE short, so resmoking her did nothing for us but waste GBE. So you're probably going to want to calculate that a little bit better than I did. Now what we're going to do is we're going to use all of our gunboat energy on that front shock blaster. That front shock blaster is very, very healthy, and we do not have the gunboat tribe on this account, sadly. So we're just doing normal low-level artillery damage. It's going to be a problem. Nonetheless, we did manage to get 40 upgrade tokens, which is pretty clutch. Let's get back into it, see if we can take this thing down. It's going to be very, very difficult. That's spoiler alert number 1. We're going to hit the hack button. We're going to flare all the way back. By the way, you have to be XP37 just to have, we're going to use one more smoke. I think it's not required. She probably would have popped out there and done her Houdini hack, and then we would have kept her, she would have died right afterwards. But just to be on the safe side, we're going to go like that. Wait until she gets that rocket launcher down, and now we're just going to throw all of our extra gunboat energy on that front shock blaster. That rear shock blaster is probably going to be a problem as well, but we don't have time to worry about that quite yet. So as you saw there, we've used quite a bit of gunboat energy on that front shock blaster, and it's still alive. So hopefully I have planned this well enough. It's going to be a tight one here, folks. This is going to be touch and go. I don't know if we'll actually even be able to get it down, but we need to get rid of this shock blaster first. That is step number 1. Hopefully it goes down on this next artillery. Otherwise, it's going to be a sad, sad day. Okay, so now that we've got that done, we've got a bit of a spot here. So what we're going to do is I am going to do the same thing we did last time. We're going to throw one smoke in the corner and then just bring all of our troops over. Every single one underneath that smoke. Hopefully we don't lose any. And then Everspark, we're just going to hit the hack button. That hack is going to hopefully let us get these troops out into safety. And at this point, we just got to hope that we can keep some of them alive as we clear towards the core. That hack is probably not going to kill that shock launcher. I mean, that sniper tower, I should say. That is definitely not a shock launcher. But as you saw, it just gave us enough time to let our troops spread a little bit and stay alive a little bit. So now just need to keep all of them moving towards this left side. Going to start using gunboat energy on that shock blaster again because I don't think we're going to have quite enough of a hidey hole. It's going to be very, very close though. Now, obviously, I am going to have to deal with that boom cannon very, very soon because as you can see here, we are just getting pummeled by the boom cannon, and this was just not great placement on my part. But on the plus side, we have cleared this entire hidey hole down here. Now we just can hopefully get that one last Cryo Bombardier to keep blowing things up for us. Not super great, but that's the beauty about these low-level dudes. We don't need to be super great. That's one of the things I've learned from you guys, is you guys actually appreciate, and when the attacks are mediocre or bad, it actually helps you guys copy, because you don't need to be perfect in order to have perfect execution and take it down. So a little bit of a plus side there, I suppose. Nonetheless, we've got this nice whole front side covered. We've gotten rid of most of the buildings. All we really need to worry about is that shock blaster and those 2 boom cannons at this point. So we should be pretty darn good. And I think on our next attack, we can take this down. I think. It's going to be a little bit close, but I think we can do it. And worst case, let's just check how big that shield is, because if that shield is too big, we're going to have problems, obviously. So we're looking at about 2.1 million damage, and I have no idea if these guys can do it. They do have quite a bit of health, and I have just enough diamonds to load them. So down to 9 diamonds. Here we go. Quickly need to check where I need to throw a smoke at. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw a smoke. We're going to get somewhere close to these 3 buildings, and then rather than trying to keep them underneath smoke, we're just going to come out of smoke with all of the buildings shocked. So need to do that. So at this first, where this factory supply was, is where we're going to throw our first smoke. Should be able to walk the shore without a heck of a lot of difficulty, without anything firing at us. But I'm going to throw Everspark last, because I think we do need her. And now we're going to go right to about here. Need this first smoke right about there. Now, when I said we're going to come out firing, this is what I mean. We're going to throw this last smoke, and then we're going to throw that shock right like that. And we've managed to shock all of the things, thankfully. Now we just need to get rid of the rest of these buildings. So getting the shock out now, it's tough. That shock isn't super easy, but it is something that you should be able to hit. As long as we just need one more building to go down very, very quickly here. Otherwise, we're going to be in a world of pain from that shock blast. Okay, so now we're going to come back in here. As you saw last time, we need to flare the core. If we don't flare the core, we are done. The troops are going to go wandering, so make sure you have enough GBE to flare that core. And at this point, it might be done. XP40 unboosted with only like a troop damage 20% and a GBE 22%. 0 super skills. This was very, very basic attacks, and I think we've got it down. So if you have never used these guys before, just be aware that you need to get those things shocked by the core and let them come out firing, and you should be able to take this down. I think we have at least one more attack left, so had we screwed up in some way, you might want to do a setup attack. Maybe you're a bit more confident with zookas or rifles or heavy zooka or something like that to take down those shock blasters. But overall, this is a war factory that you should be able to take down. I'm going to have one more sip of coffee while we wait. And now we should be absolutely golden. Like, look, they are burning through that 2.1 million health like it's nothing. Just absolutely, I guess they're not burning through it, they're melting or freezing through it. It doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. Maybe they're throwing liquid nitrogen bombs or something like that. Nonetheless, their snowballs, actually the little mini cryo bombs are crushing it, and I'm pretty impressed, to be honest. Didn't know that it was going to be possible. These grapplers and doom cannons and things made me a little bit nervous, but the fact that these rocket launchers are a little bit set back means that we managed to take it down. So the most important part of that entire attack, I think, is flaring the headquarters. As you saw in the other attack, they just walk forward and wander off, and they will die. So hopefully you guys have enough GBE to flare that headquarters. Otherwise, you're going to be in a world of pain. Boom goes the dynamite. Okay, 3 different ways to do War Factory. Nearly a 30-minute video. My ridiculousness, that was crazy. If you hung around, thank you very much. As always, don't forget to click the bell and like and share and subscribe and add your creator code as zmoT and all that fun stuff. But more importantly, hit me up in the comments. Let me know how you took this down, and the fact, if you waited till the end, maybe like throw an emoji of throw the ta-da emoji in there. If you don't know what the ta-da emoji is, you might have to Google it. Nonetheless, as always, I'm zmoT. Thanks for coming in. Hope you are happy, healthy, and home. Talk to you soon. Peace.